And we are live. Good evening, everyone. Tonight we will be discussing Alex Saunders of Nuggets News and the accusations that are currently being levied against him. Now, a lot of this information came out about 2 weeks ago when he appeared on Richard Hart's show, and him and Richard Hart had a back and forth, and then Richard was able to expose some messages where Alex was basically asking for a loan. And then Alex was also asking Richard to pay him basically to come on to Alex's show, allegedly. Although there are screenshots to support this. And don't worry, I am going to provide you with all of the documentation. After that, many of Alex's actual subscribers and followers inside of his paid group, they started coming forward with their own documentation and screenshots stating that Alex had been borrowing money from them for either borrowing money or also taking money from them for an investment in a stablecoin project called Decentral Bank or Decentra Bank. And basically what it's looking like right now is that Alex has, again, these are all things that's being alleged. He has debts to these investors and to the people who loaned him money to the tune of well over $4 to $5 million. Then more information came forward where people were able to recover some of his actual wallet addresses. And it's looking like, again, based upon the documentation, based upon the information that we're going to get into, that when people were actually either investing money with him or loaning money to him, he was taking the money and immediately sending it to the FTX exchange, which is basically a margin trading and a derivatives trading exchange. So when you put all of this information together that I'm going to present to you, it's pretty clear that there's something going on here, something that's not transparent, and it basically looks like a scam. Now, Alex has the right to basically withstand some type of legal trial or be able to come forward and present his case. But when I really start unpacking this, what I want you to take away from this stream and this information that I'm presenting to you is that many of the things that I on this channel consistently speak about and tell you and warn you about, all of that is right here in this particular story. Here you have an individual with a very, very large following. And then what we're seeing behind the scenes is that he's allowing a person the ability and opportunity to basically pay him to come onto his podcast or come onto his YouTube channel. Now, this isn't a person that has a small following. The Nuggets News platform has 147,000 subscribers. And Alex is a well-respected and well-known person in the crypto space. He's an influencer. He has done interviews with Vitalik. He's did interviews on Real Vision. So clearly, this is a person who's actually well-known and well-respected. And this is what I keep trying to tell you. Many of these cryptocurrency projects and these influencers behind the scenes, they're all working together to basically try to build up the following, get you in, build up the confidence with you so that you can trust in what they're saying, just to at the back end try to dump some garbage coin on top onto you. And we've watched this happen time and time again. I've been in crypto for over 8 years. I consistently tell you, where there is smoke, there is fire. I told you guys about Tether. Look what happened. I went through Mt. Gox. I watched what happened with Bitfinex. I saw the substratums come and go. And just like SafeMoon, just like Cumrocket, just like Shiba, just like garbage like Ripple, I've been telling you guys time and time again, crypto is the wild, wild west. And part of conning you is winning your confidence. See, first I must get you to trust me before I can then con you. And that's exactly what it looks like and appears that Alex was out here doing. And this is why you have to be mindful as to who you are following and what you are listening to and allowing to influence you. Because what you're starting to see is Many of you just care about your bags pumping. Now, what's ironic and funny is Alex is supposed to be this super trader, right? He's supposed to be so good at technical analysis and fundamental analysis. And what I believe happened is Alex was basically out here margin trading and got himself in trouble. And what he started doing was basically trying to get money from other people, basically robbing Peter to pay Paul to make up for the losses that he had incurred from trading. I've been telling you on this channel time and time again, which is why I don't promote trading. 90% of traders lose money. 90% of traders lose money. And then for the 10% or 5% that are profitable, 5% out of the 10% break even. And then the other 5%, they may make enough money as a bank teller. And don't worry, I'm going to get to the data. See, the real money in crypto and investing in general is made by buying and holding assets. See, at a certain point, you just have to accept the fact the data tells you the story. Now, if you believe that you're going to beat the odds and you're going to be some super magical trader, you're a fool and you're delusional at best. You're delusional at best. But don't worry, we're going to get into the information because I believe that we can learn a lot from this, right? It's not just about attacking and bashing, but what can we take away from where we're trying to go in terms of this industry and in the future so that you can protect yourself from people like Alex. And again, none of this information has played itself out in a court of law. He has the right to eventually let this play out. But at the end of the day, my job as a channel holder, a person with a platform, an individual that's in this space, I'm going to definitely use my voice to try to spread, information and awareness so that you can make sound decisions when it comes to investing your money and who and what you listen to and follow. So please do me a favor and like this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, make sure that you set it to all. Also, there is a link in the description to join my mailing list in the event that YouTube is not sending you my notifications. Join my mailing list and you will receive an email whenever I go live. With that being said, type 1 in the chat if you can see and hear me clearly and we can get started. Okay, the ones are starting to come through, so we can get started. So this is Alex Saunders right here on Twitter. As you can see, he has not made a post since July 21st, and this was a retweet. He went on Richard Hart's show, and don't worry, we're going to get to the screenshots in a second. But one last thing I have to add before I get started. Richard Hart, you consistently hear me tell you on this channel that Richard is one of the brightest minds in crypto. He is right up there with the Vitaliks, with the Charles Hoskinson, with the people like an Andreas Antonopoulos, a Gavin Wood. Richard's right up there. You cannot go on Richard's show unprepared. If you're going to go onto Richard's show, you're going to call Hex a scam, or you're going to refer to Richard as being a scammer, you better be ready to go in there and do battle properly with the correct information, with sources to back up what you're saying. Alex's showing on Richard's show was an absolute embarrassment. To just go in there and act like you don't understand what's going on, to just keep yelling scam, 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 it's embarrassing. I watched Richard tear Stephen Livera apart. I watched him dominate Peter McCormick, and it's just getting to the point where it's a joke. Whatever you may think about the Hex project, that's subjective. That's your opinion, what you think. But when you are debating someone, you owe it to your viewers and the viewers viewing the show to make sure that you're coming in there to do battle. If not, don't show the fuck up because it's embarrassing. And I'm tired of the Bitcoin maxis. I believe that the Bitcoin maximalists are the most ignorant people I've ever come across in my life because they believe in ideology, not facts. And it's really become a cult. And Richard for me personally, I told you guys, I've been following Richard now for probably like 4 years. I mean, like going back to the Doug Polk days. Richard is one of the more logical thinkers in this space. Now, that doesn't mean that you should run out and just buy Hex. That doesn't mean that you should just run out and buy the Post Chain project or invest in the project. It just simply means that this person, he's earned the respect to listen when he speaks. And if you cannot prove he's a scammer, then do not call him a scammer, right? Because now what's been exposed is that the person calling Richard a scammer, he himself is actually struggling and basically robbing Peter to pay Paul. So on April 8th, he sent Richard these messages. Yo, Mr. Richard. Richard responds, yo, well done on Hex. Staying power proved me wrong, but I am in need of a whale. So, well done on Hex. Richard responds, thanks. And then Richard said, I do eat a lot. Do you make a splash for the right reason? My wife would like you. My diet has become too vitalic. Again, these are jokes. Ha ha. He is going to live forever. I won't muck around, mate. I had someone screw me over with an OTC. I only do them for people in my network, not officially. And now I have some not nice characters saying I owe them. So I need a whale for a short-term loan. I've got plenty of funds, just not liquid. And they want their money yesterday. I only really have contact with a few OG whales. Eric V is too nice. Wouldn't want to ask him. Roger V would not want me to turn BCH for him. Charlie Lee acts poor despite selling the top. Andreas wouldn't do it. I figured you've got a bit of a loan shark DNA. Name your terms. So, now mind you, this is the person who refers to Hex as being a scam and Richard being a scammer, yet he has no problem going to beg Richard for a loan. So, Richard responds, sorry to hear that, man. Step 1, move to a safe location. Step 2, find liquidity, for the bear market could come any day now. I assume you're in things that aren't liquid. I know we've had a bit of banter in the past, but this is serious, so trusting you here. Yeah, man, I also am cheap as fuck. You have to reach out to your community. They will understand. I have a few million in RFOX alone, that gaming coin that's done 1200x since August, vested till September. Bitcoiners have Andreas broke as 1 million. Nice. Haha. Okay, no probs. If you were a baller, I was happy to pay a decent interest rate for the 20 BTC for a few weeks. Just pre-sell a option to them with an agreement from a lawyer. That robo yours screams wealthy, not poor. Yeah, it's rumored I'm a billionaire, but I eat McDonald's. I hope it works out for you, man, also. So then Alex responds, I drive a Subaru hatchback, but I'm the nicest guy, I'm the richest guy in Tasmania. Excuse me, I can't really see. So small. Then we go here. Richard responds, just because you pay your debt, it don't mean they won't squeeze you for more or forever. Don't tell me that. Go walk about and bring your webcam die content. Worked for Crocodile Dundee when the drug dealers were after him. I grew up with the Tassie Devils nipping at my ankles. Crazy Little Basket. Sucks, man. Was great. Anyway, mate, thanks for hearing me out. If you decide I'm worth 20 BTC investment, I will return interest. If I don't, you can publicly shame me. Would be cool if you said something nice about me publicly, considering. When the time is right. Justice delayed is justice denied, they say. Is Hex what you wanted it to be? And then Richard basically goes into, Hex being such a good project. And again, excuse me for reading the back and forth, but I have to do this so you can have the proper context. So he's responding, I've got my own project too, in full stealth mode, but I am confident it will be top 10 project within a year. Who is Postchain's target audience, with BSC already being an ETH fork? What airdrop did you do on ZK Sync? I'm an active user, but didn't get any airdrop. So now, this is the interesting part. We can get to the good stuff. He sends a question mark on April 20th. Then he says, do you want a 50K allocation in my project, Stealth? So this is Mr. Nuggets News. This is Mr. I call out all the scams, all of the schemes. But basically what he's trying to do is he's trying to bribe Richard with getting into a project early. This is the type of stuff that I consistently talk to you guys about in crypto that happens behind the scenes. Many of these influencers and whales, when they have a guest come on their show and they say, oh, look at this fancy project, look at Shiba Swap and look at SafeMoon and all this different stuff. They've already brokered the deal behind the scenes. They've already been paid off by the project's co-founders, and they're basically using you as liquidity to dump on. This is Nuggets News. This is Mr. Integrity. This is the guy who calls out all of the scams and the schemes. Yet behind the scenes, he's brokering a deal so that people can get into the project early so that they can then dump on you. So, it's laughable when a lot of you try to come on my page and tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. I've watched these things happen time and time again. You finally going to face your fears and come onto my channel? So Richard responds, sure. When? Alex says soon. You pay in Hex or Pulse? And what bet do you want to make about Hex or Pulse that I can take the other side of? This is not joking. This is not banter. He's basically saying, I think that Hex is a scam. I think that Richard's a scammer. I think that Pulse is a scam. This is what Alex has been alleging over the year. But you can pay me in a project that I think is a scam to come on my show so that you can then present Pulse. These are the type of things that happens behind the scenes all the time with crypto. So understand that when you're buying these ICOs, these IEOs, these IDOs, you are buying at a disadvantage. And this is exactly what I was saying to you. This is the type of stuff that's been happening with Ripple behind the scenes, where the institutional investors, they're able to buy the cryptocurrency, the actual XRP token, at a discounted price, where you're buying it at a higher price in the marketplace. So the investors who are getting into these projects or getting these allocations, they're in from such a beautiful price. But yet they're going to come to you and tell you, oh my God, this is the greatest project ever, while they're dumping the project on you. They don't believe in these projects, which is why you see many of these projects they dump after the first week or two or first month or two of them launching. So that's enough, right? So when Richard releases this is the important part right here, because now many of Alex's followers, they start coming forward and talking about the fact that they've been loaning Alex money and that they invested in a potential stablecoin project. And we're going to get to that, because that to me is the real damning information and damning part about all of this. It says, this is Tim sending this to Richard. It goes, hello, all. I was really hopeful Alex would have stepped up and addressed things by now, as a few of us who are close to him have advised him to do so for days now. I'm going to provide an insight into this situation based on what I know to be true. A little background first. I have been in this group since the first 50 to 100 members. So now this is an individual that's a part of Alex's paid group. Although I have not been active for a while, I was a significant contributor to a time, and I think many members from that time can attest to me being credible. There are plenty of other credible names here also saying this same thing. This is not a big smear campaign or conspiracy. We have far more valuable things to do with our time. Moreover, many of us regard Alex as a friend, so do not throw him under the bus lightly. But at the end of the day, how long would you stay silent on someone doing things that can and have hurt others, no matter how good of a friend they are? Here are the facts. The Richard Hart screenshots that started this off are real. There are much worse ones than that out there. Alex has large personal debt. Speculating how much exactly is pointless, but I know for a fact that it is in the millions. This started from him borrowing from people within his network and misleading them by making no mention that he used it for leverage trading. I know this because I am one of these people. Leverage trading, Mr. Super Trader himself. See, many of you come on here, you tell me, I don't know what I'm talking about. All you have to do is just, follow the 7 and 21 moving average. And when the 7 crosses the 21, you go short, right? And when the 7 crosses from above to below, you just short the market. And then when the 7 crosses from below to above, you just go long the market and look, you just make $1 million. Traders are getting wrecked. Crypto is the last asset class that you should be trying to swing trade or day trade. Getting wrecked. And we know this based upon tracking his wallet address. This is his wallet address right here. One of the wallet addresses associated with him, allegedly. And it's showing that $50,000 came into the wallet. And as soon as the funds come into the wallet, they go straight to the FTX exchange. And then $25,000 came into his wallet. These are loans that people have sent to him, allegedly. It comes to his wallet, and then it goes to the FTX exchange. Then $45,000 comes to the wallet, then it goes to the FTX exchange. Then $50,000 comes to the wallet, then it goes to the FTX exchange. Then $49,000 comes to the wallet, then it goes to the FTX exchange. $49,900 goes to the wallet, it goes to the exchange. Another $49,000. And he was selling $50,000 allocations. See, if you put together the information, it tells you all you need to know. How do we know about the 50K allocation? Because if we come over here to Richard's screenshot, it says right here, do you want a 50K allocation? And what we're seeing here, based upon the information that's associated with this wallet, is around $50,000 is being sent to this wallet, and then it's going to the FTX exchange. Now, think about this. If the 50K was supposed to be for a project, why is it going to the FTX exchange? Let me repeat that because I know a lot of you are missing this. Remember, he's supposed to be working on a cryptocurrency project, allegedly, called, let me make sure, what was it again? The Central Bank. It's the Central Bank or the Central Bank, excuse me. So why is it going to a trading exchange? Shouldn't this money be sitting in the wallet and being used to pay developers and pay for infrastructure to build out the project, to pay for the incubation and bootstrapping the project, right? Because you're trying to build a stable coin. He was trying to create a fork of MakerDAO that was going to be pegged to Ethereum, allegedly, to create a better stable coin than DAI. So then why are you sending it to an exchange to go and trade? So right here alone, this basically makes him look guilty right here alone, because you're getting 50K investments and you're automatically sending it to an exchange when you should be using it to bootstrap your project. But again, I don't know what I'm talking about, right? I just come on here and I attack people because I'm a hater and I'm jealous. Yet all of these people who sent this man money are basically out of their money. And I've been telling you guys for the longest, stay away from margin trading, stay away from leverage trading. Be careful with these ICOs, these IEOs, or these IDOs. So effectively, what it looks like is he's basically trying to make back the losses that he's incurred over the months by trying to margin trade, trying to use new investors to pay off old investors. What does that look like to you? It looks like a Ponzi scheme. It's similar to what Bernie Madoff was doing, right? I owe old people, so I'm going to try to use new money, try to leverage trade it, and try to pay back older people. And that's what we're witnessing happen here. So it goes, number 3, after getting liquidated on those who were stupid enough to loan him initially, he has asked for more in many confirmed cases, including my own, offering shares in collective shift or referring to a large RFOX unlock that he could use to pay back. Brand ambassadors for RFOX say that he never had that RFOX, and neither does he have equity in collective shift. Now, How do we know about RFOX? Remember, this is one of the members of the paid group that's saying this. We can go back to, again, the Richard Hart messages, and he talks about paying Richard back, and his money is tied up in RFOX, and it's not liquid. We can go here, right here. I have a few million in RFOX alone. That gaming coin that's done 1200x since August, vested till September. So now, the brand ambassadors are saying he has nothing in that project, but he's telling Richard that. So what you're starting to see is people who are not linked together basically sharing the same story or hearing the same story from this individual. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to say 2 + 2 will always equal 4. He's trying to sell Richard on the same story that he sold his paid members on. Again, the same things that I consistently talk about on this channel. Number 4, in addition to confirmed cases of loans, I have seen confirmed proof of Alice asking so many people for loans. The amounts asked for have become increasingly bigger and the reasons increasingly desperate. The reach of this is pretty massive. Number 5, Alex has a gambling problem. I have reason to believe that some, if not all, of the 2.5 million raised for the recent project will be used to trade with on high leverage to repay personal debts. I have had many people come to me and say they can see their investments being sent straight to FTX. I believe this is a reason for Alex has been radio silent. Again, there's a lot of typos and spelling errors. Forgive me. Again, I didn't write this. This individual wrote this. A last chance saloon trade. Alex is compromised, and I strongly advise investors to try and get their money back. There are many other accusations being made, but above covers key points that I know. Here are my 2 cents and some conjecture. Now, let's really take a step back here and unpack this. This individual, he holds his subscribers and followers in such low regard that he's not even trying to hide these transactions. He's not even trying to run these transactions through some type of a coin joint. He's not trying to run them through Tornado Cash. He's not trying to go and buy some Monero, nothing. He's literally getting it and sending it straight to the FTX exchange because he just believes that his followers are that dumb. And this is why I consistently talk to you guys about, and notice I keep using the word consistently because I want to ingrain that in your mind. I really want you to walk away with, you have to be consistently consistent with your thought process, with your due diligence, how you approach investing, how you approach consuming content and information, who do you listen to, and why do you listen to them? And you cannot bend your principles. You should never be investing money with someone without a contract. There needs to be some type of contractual agreement in place before you and a person engage in any business. I don't care if it's your brother. I don't care if it's your mother. I don't care if you knew this person for 15 years. You and this person need to put your name on a piece of paper stating the terms of the agreement and when you are going to be paid back and what the funds are going to be used for. You don't just give a person money and then they can do whatever they want with the money. The money has to be used for a particular and a specific purpose. People are giving this man money for a quote unquote loan or for a project, for a stable coin, and he's sending it to the FTX exchange to go and gamble. Those of you who do business with me, we get on a Zoom call, stream, show, webinar, whatever you want to call it. You have my telephone number, you have my identification, and we have a contract on paper as to what the hell we are going to be doing. And most importantly, in the event that things go wrong, how am I going to rectify it and fix the issue? What collateral is there for me to get paid back? Do you have a home? Do you have a house? Do you have credit? right? Like these are things that matter when you are doing business with someone. It can't just be, oh man, he's from Nuggets News and I like him because he gives us good information. I want to, go right here for this actual study right here called Day Trading for a Living, because I think that this is really, really important so that many of you can really grow from this and actually learn. And I'm going to share this with you. It's actually in this article right here. So I want to post this article in the actual chat real quick. Give me a second. Because I really believe that you need to educate yourself before you do things. But I just want to read the abstract to you. It says, we show that it is virtually impossible for individuals to day trade for a living. Contrary to what course providers claim, we observe all individuals who begin to day trade between 2013 and 2015 in the Brazilian equity futures market, the third in terms of volume in the world. We find that 97% of all investors who persisted for more than 300 days lost money. Only 1.1% earned more than the Brazilian minimum wage, and only 0.5% earned more than the initial salary of a bank teller, all with great risk. All of these people are selling you courses on trading. It's a reason why they want you to trade, because the individuals that are running these groups, they get paid handsomely from these exchanges to promote leverage trading to you. It's not complicated. If a person claims to be a fantastical, magical trader, they should be able to provide you with audited brokerage statements. This is not complicated. The data is in. See, if a person tells you that they're teaching you how to trade, then what you need to ask them is, what is the success rate of their students? How many of their students are actually making money from trading? Because study after study shows that more than 90% of traders lose money. Now, where am I going with this trading stuff? If you come to Alex's actual website here, he actually has products teaching you trading. Market Mastery, $647 Australian dollars. $647 Australian dollars can teach you how to go out here and be a trader. Yet the trader himself is getting wrecked. The trader himself is ruining and destroying the lives of so many people. Yet all of you come on my channel and tell me I'm a hater. You tell me I'm I'm jealous of other successful men and women. I'm a coon, I'm an agent, I'm a Sambo, I'm a self-hating black man, I'm a bussy warrior, I'm part of the rainbow community. All of these things you come on here and say to me, I just don't want to see people win. No, I just keep track of the score. The score is telling you that all of these people who are selling you these fantastical, magical indicators and all of these great ideas, and all you got to do is just follow the strategy, right? And follow this ribbon strategy and put some Bollinger Bands with some RSI indicators and the Ichimoku cloud, and you're going to get rich. The data doesn't show it. Alex's performance doesn't show it. Now these people are out of literally millions of dollars when all they had to do was buy and hold. All you had to do is buy any of your favorite cryptocurrencies and just hold them. If you purchased your crypto and held them, you would have been fine. But see, greed will always cause you to lose money. Will always cause you to lose money. Now, I want to go back here because there's some more screenshots. Actually, let's get to BitBoy Crypto, because BitBoy Crypto actually gave Alex a loan as well. So right here, it goes, this is BitBoy Crypto again, has a really, really large following. So even if you don't believe me, Richard's more influential than I am. BitBoy Crypto is more influential than I am. So BitBoy Crypto put this up. A lot of stuff is coming out, and it's clear a lot of people have been scammed. I've been holding this back, but to be honest, I now think it's necessary for people to know the truth. Alex asked me for a 5 BTC loan back in early March. I gave it to him as a friend. Big mistake. So again, a pattern of him borrowing money from people or borrowing crypto from people. So this right here in blue is BitBoy Crypto. This right here is Alex. Hey man, just following up on this. Yup, I'll let you know the plan today. BitBoy Crypto responds, any update? Your mate, I've organized to sell up some equity soon. In worst case scenario, I have lots of vesting tokens unlocking in July, but you will get repaid BTC in full. Don't worry. He sends the OK symbol, this BitBoy Crypto. He responds, it's been a horror run. I have barely been able to do a video lately since I broke my, I'm assuming he must have got injured. Let's see. Nope. I guess they cut that off. Please accept my apology, mate. I got ripped 20 BTC lending to a friend of a friend that has thrown a big spanner in the works. But we found the person thanks to help of exchanges getting it back. Didn't want to freak you out, but all should be returned soon. Lesson learned. Wow, man. Hate to hear that. Keep me updated. Again, the blue is BitBoy Crypto responding. He responds again on 5/10. This is 4/15/21. This is now 5/10/2021. Hey, man, just following up on this. Yup, I'll let you know the plan today. This 5/10/2021, right? 14 days later, BitBoy Crypto responds, any update? And there's still no update. Here we go now, 3/28. Wait, hold on. Let's make sure that these, yeah. So I guess these are after right here. Yeah, because basically I'm reading them backwards because this is 5/10, right? So this is 4/14. So it needs to be read this way, 3/26. So I hate half of my audience, so entitled. I'm over the public side of things so much. Your coins were still in the pool this week, so you have 6 biddies coming your way. Oh, okay, awesome. Public is tough these days. So basically, Alex is saying he hates half his audience. And I mean, that was on 3/26. And then now you could go in reverse and look at this stuff right here. So it's clear that this individual is basically wrecked trading. And he's basically trying to make it all back by just levering up each and every time. And it's actually laughable that people continuously keep giving this individual money. And what's even funnier, about this whole situation is that the whole mantra of crypto is that you shouldn't trust, you should verify. Yet no one's verifying any of the claims that Alex is making. People are just sending him money time and time again. It's like, at what point will people wake up? So this is the actual pitch now for Decentrabank or Decentrabank. And I just want you to watch how horrible this pitch is. Now, remember, initially it started out that he was creating his own cryptocurrency and that it was going to be in the top 10. It was going to be a quote unquote stable coin, a fork of Maker. So let's look at the pitch.
Hi guys, I thought it might be easier to record just a little bit more context first before I do the same thing over a few times with those of you that have written back and said you're interested. So the central bank, it's come along a fair way. Oh, what is it? Probably 8 weeks or so since we first floated the idea. Basically, I drew out a system that's a hybrid of things like Maker, synthetics, liquidity, all the different stablecoin protocols. What's the good and bad? What can we learn from them? Pros and cons to make my own unique system with its own features and that sort of thing. So once I was pretty happy with this system, the next step was to go to basically like an incubator, a crypto incubator. Now, I do know these people. The devs that work here and the teams have built top DeFi projects. We're keeping the name exactly private for now because we're not sure what we're going to reveal and what we might slightly keep under the hood. And that all is the same reason that we're doing this as a DAO and everything for later on. But basically, their head of crypto economists did a review for me and gave me back a report. From there, I was able to have a chat with him and say, look, a lot of those things you've kind of brought up or raised as concerns, I've got mechanisms and answers for those already. It's just in more detail than what I've kind of showed you so far. And he said, great. So then we went over that. And once he saw all that, he said, I love this system. I actually want to be involved on the team and whatnot.
I just want you to think about that. Listening to that 1 minute and 40-second snippet, does that sound like a presentation that would give you confidence in investing in this project? Look at this. I want you to look at this screenshot. Would you send someone $50,000 if they presented something like this to you? And it frustrates me sometimes because sometimes I get frustrated because I sit here and I make these 2-hour live streams. I put together these courses where I go into so much detail and in depth of the technology and the history of the technology, and people barely go through it or barely watch it. Yet this guy comes on here and he draws boxes and circles and a little house like a bank, and people send him $50,000 a pop. It's so frustrating sometimes, man. To sit here and watch this. He's drawing, little stick figures and circles. And, I barely can get people to hit the like button or subscribe. And I go into far more detail than he is presenting right here and doing right here. Yet, people send him $50,000 a pop. Yeah, you have to just the level of and just the lack of seriousness in this space is just and just the amateurism is hilarious, because this would not fly in any serious space. This would not fly. But because in a bull market, everyone looks like a genius. Everyone looks intelligent and smart when we're in a bull market and, billions of tethers are being printed out of thin air and everything's going up. Everyone looks like a genius. Everyone has a new crypto. It's Shiba. It's Shiba Swap. It's Cumrocket. It's Safe Moon. It's Ripple. It's Dogecoin. Right? But then, when the bear market comes, when the market starts correcting, that's when you start realizing the emperor has no clothes. That's when now you start having, because you've taken all these people's money for this decentral bank project, now you got to try to make it all back. But notice, all of this drawing you see here, when he was getting the investors' funds, they were going straight to FTX. So, again, all of this is alleged, but look at the information and how it's being laid out. He's asking people for loans. He's getting the loans. He's sending it to the FTX exchange. He initially started out asking people for an investment into a stablecoin project. The funds are being sent to the FTX exchange. He then asked Richard Would he like a 50K allocation to the project? All of the dots are connecting. They're all lining up. It's all in your face, the screenshots. Now, this is even more important because this is how now we can get to the tail end of this. This is the most damning part, I think, of all of the information that's been presented. I would say this is the most damning part right here. This is his voice. And I want you to listen to what his intentions were with the project that he was trying to launch.
The worst thing is that my big out to fix this all up is this project I've been working on, which is like an absolute belter. Like seriously, could be top 10 if not number 3. Replace. And the worst thing is that my big out to fix this all up is this project I've been working on, which is like an absolute belter. Like seriously, could be top 10 if not number 3. Replace Tether. You know how fast these things move, like Sushi versus Uniswap. What we've built is like it really is the best stablecoin. And so, let's say we were to do a coin launch like tomorrow. Like I could be sitting on fucking millions of dollars, like tens of millions, if not more, literally. And so I'm just trying to. It's fucking hard to do a launch of some sort. I don't know. Right now. Yeah, no, I completely agree. Yeah, I've still got a little bit in the trading account. Like I said, I've just been putting all my effort into this. Like we literally had 4 PhD economists say that this is like these guys literally write papers on crypto stablecoins, and they've said this is the best system they've ever seen, and they've asked to be co-founders and have their names on this. They're writing like an academic white paper for Decentral Bank.
Bullshit.
And then Block 8, they're the guys that did synthetics all the way through. So when it started as Haven, it was a stablecoin project, right? They've said this is the best project they've seen since synthetics, and they, again, have put their names to it, and they're going to be co-founders. Now, I haven't said any of this publicly yet. I mean, the group, that they get little updates and little breadcrumbs, but, I mean, all this is going to make it legit and make people stop thinking it's all just... Yeah, like some people, like Rory's telling people that's a scam and the project doesn't even exist, blah, blah, blah. Like, mate, we're halfway through. We've got about 8 weeks till the first version's out. And if this thing is like the beast that we think it is, like even the Fay protocol and fucking Frax and that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars and they're shit. This thing is banging. It's got, like, just the marketing is unreal. The hedging engine and the way it all works, it's the most efficient system. It's the best system. It's the only decentralized one right when regs are coming out. I've already had people offer me $1 million checks, like 2 people, to get in, and we've said no. So if we can just sort of get this out, that's like I can pay everyone off overnight. And so that's kind of just the way I'm trying to just do that in the right way, if you know what I mean. Like we've got Kyber partnered, Rocket Pool partnered.
That right there alone sums up all of the entire video, this entire long run, this 48-minute video. Everything that I've been saying is encapsulated in those 20, in that 2 minutes and 54 seconds. Those 2 minutes and 54 seconds sums up everything that I've been saying on his channel for so long. Number one, he's saying that he was going to use the launch of this project to pay back the people that he owed. Now, he's pretending as if a project exists, as if the project's already done and completed. But we know for a fact that the funds that he's been receiving, they've been sent, or a large percentage of them, a portion of them, they've been sent to the FTX exchange. So the project doesn't even look like it actually even exists. Number two, he's talking about, this is an inside player here. He's talking about how they have rocket pool, they have synthetics. So even though he may be lying, maybe, or he may be telling the truth, he understands how the business works on the back end with crypto. That's how a lot of these projects are structured. The legit ones that actually make it to market, they already automatically have given out allocations to the influencers. So when the influencer comes and says, look at this new project, look at this new crypto, they're telling you that because they have a vested interest in it because they've been paid. And then behind the scenes, the exchanges and the other big players in the space, they've already colluded and they have an allocation as well. See, crypto is an unregulated industry, and you're dealing with technology that allows you to be somewhat anonymous, pseudo-anonymous. So, people can do things in a way where they can make it like, oh man, we got hacked. Oh man, I lost the key. The smart contract was exploited. But all along, they were working together behind the scenes. The smart contract auditor, the creator of the projects, the exchanges, they've all been colluding together. I'm not saying he's doing that right now. I'm saying that he's alluding to that. And these are the things that I tell you about, but you come on here and you tell me, oh man, you're being a conspiracy theorist. You just don't want to see anyone win. You don't want to see a black brother make it. No, I'm trying to tell you that a lot of these people are connected. A lot of these people are playing inside ball. That's what's happening. I'm not saying that you shouldn't listen to your favorite influencer, but you need to learn how to eat the meat and spit out the bones. Just because a person can give you valuable information does not mean they deserve to have your money. It's the same thing with Jay Morrison. Just because he can go to teach a corner class and write on a board and give you some real estate terms does not mean he's qualified to be a real estate fund manager. See, you have to learn how to separate the message from the messenger, and you can't be into personality worship because you end up here. You end up in these situations, sending a person $50, $100, $200,000. Some people sent this man $300,000, $400,000 for a project that looks like today is vaporware. It doesn't even exist. Because the actual people that he was quoting working with the project, they've all come out and said, no, I have nothing to do with that project. Now what? Now, this is the CEO of Collective Shift. He was a part of Nuggets News, the actual corporate entity, the structure. I believe in June 11th, he removed himself and created Collective Shift, which now controls Nuggets News. Listen to what he had to say. So this is his ex-business partner now. Listen.
From time over the journey, people have contacted me and about Alex either being unreliable or Alex owing the money, and he's always reassured me that it was all under control, and that anytime I approached him just to check in and see how everything was going, he always assured me that everything was okay, he had it all under control, and there was nothing to worry about. And I believed him because I trusted him, Now on Sunday last week, I woke up to a phone call about Alex getting on a YouTube channel and talking about various different things, and then screenshots being shared about loans. And, I went to confront him about these allegations on Tuesday. I was in Tasmania and looked him dead in the eye and asked him, is this true? What's going on? Talk to me. And he looked me back straight in the eye and said, don't worry about it. There's a couple of people that I owe money. I've got repayment plans. Don't worry about it. It's all under control. I'm working on this project. It's all fine. In recent days, more and more people have come forward, claiming that they've also been asked for money or have sent money, and now owed more money. And if this is all true, honestly, I'm horrified. I can't imagine what all of you are feeling at this time. I feel sick. I can assure you, though, that Collective Shift, nor any of its employees were involved in any of this. We've worked so hard to build Collective Shift as a brand, and we've just simply had absolutely nothing to do with any of Alex's personal projects. I know this is incredibly challenging for everyone. I know it's hurting. It's hurting pretty deep.
Now, again, this individual, Alex Saunders, he's literally interviewed Vitalik. He's been on Real Vision. So, excuse me, I'm not saying that those individuals are responsible for what Alex allegedly did to his investors and followers. What I'm saying to you is that just because a person's on a platform with other respected people in an industry or a space doesn't mean that everything that they're saying is gospel. Doesn't mean that you should follow everything that they're saying or believe into everything that they're trying to offer you. And you should not take your money and just send it to an individual just because they're on Real Vision Finance. As I said before, look at me. I'm sitting here on my platform, and I put together much better presentations than this. He was able to get millions of dollars from people with this. Millions. Yet I can't even get you to hit the motherfucking like button. Think about that. What does that say about this industry? What does that say about the people involved in this industry? And this is why I keep talking about like the institutional space, the institutional investor. This is why it takes so long to get institutional money into this space, but I can't wait for it because it's going to raise the bar. See, crypto right now is really a retail phenomenon. And this is why you see so many of the scams and schemes happening, because this wouldn't happen in an institutional space. You cannot go to an institutional investor drawing a little box to make it look like a house and get millions of dollars from them. You just couldn't do it. But see, in the retail space, I can come to you and I can name something ShibaSwap or Dogecoin. And then I'll come along and I'll ask you, well, what does Dogecoin do? Why are you buying Dogecoin? I've had people who I told about to invest in Ethereum when Ethereum was $80, when Bitcoin was $1,500, $2,000, $3,000. And they said, nah, that crypto stuff's a scam. I don't want to buy that. But then Elon Musk starts tweeting about Dogecoin. The actual creator and founder of the project walked away from the project. And yet people are telling me they invested $10, $20, $30, $40,000 into it. It is amazing the level of ignorance that exists just in the investing community, because people are greedy, and these bull markets and these manias they fuel this, right? And shout out to Richard Hart, because Richard Hart catches a lot of flack and people attack him and they call him a scammer. Yet none of you can name one scam that Richard Hart has been a part of. Peter McCormick, who's a Bitcoin maxi, came on his show and yelled, scam, scam, scam. How are you effing us over? Alex Saunders came on there and talked about scam, 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 scam. And then come to find out he's the one allegedly running the scam. Again, I'm not saying that you need to run out and buy Hex and invest in the project. I'm not saying that you need to run out and invest in Pulse Chain, right? What I'm saying to you is that, people throw around that term scam too loosely when there are actually real scammers out here, real people defrauding people, real individuals misleading people. I talk to you all the time about how pump and dump groups work, how they work. The whole idea of a pump and dump and the way that is structured is they can't just dump immediately. I have to win your confidence. That's why they refer to individuals as con men, because they're confidence men. They win your confidence over. So they get you in Ripple, they get you in Dogecoin, they get you in Cumrocket, they get you in SafeMoon. And then after that, they create their own project and they dump on you. Happens time and time again. I've witnessed it happen time and time again. And I'll keep watching this happen over and over again because people are greedy. People are too trusting. When we are doing business, there needs to be a contract in place. You need to walk me through how this investment is going to play out. And not just the pros, but also the cons. Right? I want to know in the event that something goes wrong, do I lose everything? Right? Are there safeguards in place? Do you have any type of insurance? Right? People are just sending this man money and he's sending it straight to the exchange to go and margin trade. What is it going to take for you to stop listening to these people about day trading and trading options and trading futures and trading stocks? There's a difference between being an investor and being a trader and being a gambler. They're different. Many of you think you're trading. You're not even trading. You're gambling. Because any smart trader has on hedges in the event that he's wrong or she's wrong, but they don't lose everything. Investing and trading are two different things. I watch this happen all the time and time again. This week, you are a relationship guru. Next week, you're a reparations activist. Next month, you are in the red pill community. Then you are a race relations expert. Then now you're teaching about real estate. And then now crypto's taking off. Or now you're a crypto guru. Oh, well, crypto crashes. Now buy my stock options course. There's not enough time in a day for you to be able to do all of these different things in one day. Look at Jay Morrison. He has the Black Rights Party. He's doing corner classes. He's running the Black House. He's a fund manager. He's going to research the properties. He's going to rehab the properties. He's going to handle the marketing behind the fund. He's the CEO, CFO, CTO, and CMO. Oh, he's going to help you get reparations. He's an author. He's a model. And you people, you buy that. You buy these. You invest in these things and you buy their courses and you do these things. And it's just, I watch it happen over and over again. And I sit here and I laugh because here I am just chugging along, sticking to a simple plan. It's not complicated. Many of you just overcomplicate it. So, I hope that for the investors, financial well-being, that there's some type of recourse, whether it's legally that this thing plays out. If they take Alex to court or whatever is going to be the end game, because like Richard said, and I agree with Richard, if you just sweep this under the rug and you allow him to come back like nothing never happened, he might allegedly do this again, what he's being accused of doing. Right? The zebra doesn't change its stripes. Right? Zebras, they don't change the stripes. So um again, I'm not going to say what I really want to say because I really want to be harsh here, but I'm going to hold back what I want to say. I'm trying to be reserved and keep this PG because I really want to go in, but you know I'm going to leave it like that. I hope that people can get some type of a legal recourse in action, against this individual to recoup some of their funds. But people, you need to do your due diligence before investing in these projects, and you should only be investing what you can afford to lose. You should be building out a solid portfolio. Just because a person has good research and good information does not mean that they need to be managing your funds, and managing your money. You should really, learn how to compartmentalize different segments of an individual. They may have good information in this particular area, right? But they may be horrible in another area. And especially when you give people money there's no way to control what they're doing with the money, how they're spending the money, how it's being allocated. You set yourself up for stuff like this. When you are doing business, there needs to be a contract out there, 100%, right? The funds need to be put into some type of an escrow where no one can touch the funds. The fact that you allow a person to, just get money and they can use the money however they see fit, like this reminds me of the Tulsa Real Estate Fund all over again, where there's one person in control of everything and there's no safeguards and no barriers to stopping the individual from how they access the funds and what they do with the funds. This is why there's corporate structure in place. This is why you have to have executives and advisors and board members to, keep you in check so that you don't get out of line. Because when you're trading and you're down 50, 60, 70%, it's very easy to think that, all I have to do is come here and draw some lines on a chart. And when this line crosses this line, I just go short. Remember, trading indicators are lagging indicators, right? Price leads the market. Volume leads the market, right? People buying and selling lead the market, right? Indicators, they tell you what already has happened. They don't predict the market. So I'll take a few questions before we wrap this up, just to see what some of you guys are talking about here in the chat. Yeah, no problem, Phoenix. I know those of you who support. I'm talking about the masses, Phoenix, but I agree with you. I appreciate all of you who support me and support the content I put together. I'm talking about just the microwave crowd, that crowd that comes, looking for the next 10x, the next 20x, the next 30x. You set yourself up for stuff like Alex and the things that Alex is doing. You set yourself up for it all the time. Yes, definitely hit the like button. Yeah, that piece of paper is just laughable. I can't even understand how you would. We're talking about cryptography, distributed ledger technology, right? Macroeconomics, game theory, right? Computer programming, like so many different things that economic disciplines and philosophies that goes into this technology. For a person to draw some shit like this and you send this person millions of dollars, you deserve to lose every dollar you sent this person. This is laughable. I can't even understand for the life of me how someone can take this serious. I don't know enough about Polymath to give you an opinion about that particular project. I know that they just got listed on Coinbase, but I don't know enough about that project. He's running for governor like Ghost. Soul Shader Crypto says, I almost got scammed when I first got into crypto before I understood it better, but luckily I was smart enough to question what I was doing and did a little research and quickly caught the scammer. Also, there's someone impersonating me on Instagram. My Instagram page is Common Sense Eli. The individual is Common Sense EIL. Let me make this very clear for you. No one's ever going to inbox you. I know. It feels great. No one will ever inbox you to make you rich and wealthy. No one's ever going to inbox you with a legitimate opportunity that's really beneficial for you. I know you may believe that, good things happen to you. Trust me, it doesn't work that way. And I would never inbox you asking you to send me money. I don't trade Forex. I don't trade options. I would never inbox you asking you for money. I'm doing pretty well for myself financially. I don't need to go around inboxing random strangers to do business with them. Any business opportunities and things that I have, my links are in all of my videos. My link is in my bio. I have a free trial with all of the products that I offer. It costs you absolutely nothing to be a part of my products for the first 3 days to see if you like it and to see if you enjoy it. I would never inbox you asking you for money. Ever. So if a person's doing that, just use a little bit of discernment. For those of you who sent this individual money, I hope that you contact your bank or your credit card company and you reverse those transactions, because I would never do that. What other questions we have here? So all this stuff. No, I didn't see that. EUC vibes. Have you seen CoffeeZilla expose on scammers dumping right away and changing the code to bypass the 24-hour no dumping rule? Listen, this happens in crypto time and time again. We have people, again, investing in things. Notice that for those of you who have been following me, you never see me promote ICOs, IEOs, IDOs. You never really see me promote any project that just launched a week ago. You don't see me doing that. You don't see me bringing, project co-founders onto my channel so that they can show you why their project is better than Ethereum, right? Or why it's better than Bitcoin. I don't do that type of stuff because I know that it's not genuine. I know that it's just trying to make a quick buck. See, what I've learned a long time ago as an entrepreneur is you'll get more business by doing good business. What happens with crypto, though, is that there's so much money at stake and it's so easy to get big amounts of money that people, they don't care about creating good products, good content, good services, because it's so easy to get $1 million from someone, right? Because everyone wants the next Bitcoin. Everyone wants the next Ethereum. They want the next Solana. They want the next Terra. They want the next Chainlink. So they don't care about doing the due diligence. They just simply say, well, Eli, he's been right about this. He's been right about that. So I'm just going to go buy it. And I know I get pitched all of these different things like BlockFi, for example. You don't see me promoting BlockFi because I know that goes against everything that crypto was created and designed to do, right? You're going to take your asset and give it to someone and believe and think that they're going to do the right thing with your asset. You really think that a person is going to sit there and they have the potential to exit scam billions of dollars and they're not going to do it? What's the incentive to do the right thing when we're all in this for money? Well, I got $1 billion right here that I can just exit scam, right? So now when you look at a lot of these, projects with admin keys, right, where they can go into the project and rewrite the code base and change the code, that's a problem. Where they can drain the funds and pretend like, oh, I got hacked. So we are in the early days of crypto. These things will happen. I try my best to be a person who puts the technology first, but most people don't give a damn about the technology. All they care about is wind, moon. So, it's sad to watch these things and watch people. It takes a special type of idiot to be in the right place at the right time and still lose your money. right? Like you have to be a special type of stupid to be in the right place at the right time and still lose money. Mm-mm-mm. Um, Thank you, Billy Tough. I appreciate it. The blockchain never lies. Absolutely, it doesn't. You can verify all of the transactions, and this is just one of his potential addresses that he's allegedly associated and affiliated with. Another thing that we have to think about too is, could this be some type of an exit scam? Um, Thank you for a donation, Malik the Immaculate. Your thoughts on U.S. tensions with China and the shortages affecting virtually every public and private commodity, with the likelihood of a war as high as it ever been. How do you think it will impact us? Number one, we will never see a war fought with actual tanks and bombs ever again, a world war. I've spoken about this before. I have videos, like whole live streams talking about this. Right now, what we're experiencing with China is a Cold War with China and Russia, and some Middle Eastern players. What's going to be so insidious about the inflation that we're expecting and experiencing, and that I'm expecting to keep happening and continuing, is that there's going to be a limited amount of supply. So that's going to put inflation pressures on things. And then the things that you actually want that's there, they are going to cost so much more than you could ever expect. So it's not going to be enough goods to go around, and the goods that do exist are going to cost, and they're going to be priced much higher than they currently are today. So you're going to experience inflation with the existing goods, and then there's not going to be enough coming in, because we've basically hollowed out the West, and we've sent all of our manufacturing and our supply chain all throughout the world, right? This has all been a part of China's plan. And you're going to start to experience a lot of psyops. You're going to experience financial terrorism, eco-terrorism, bioterrorism, right? So it's going to be like quote unquote what we're experiencing right now with the sickness that's going around, right? That was intentionally done, in my opinion. You're going to start to see more stuff like that. The West is done. Russia and China will rule the 21st century. It's just a matter of, how hardcore will they dominate and rule? Will it be like sort of how they do in the Uyghur Muslims? Will they bring that to the rest of the world? But Marxism and communism and socialism has won. People don't want freedom, liberty. They don't want justice. People just want to see the world burn. That's where we are right now. Many people feel like they've been wronged by America, and I'm not here to say you have or haven't. So a lot of people don't care. That people don't take pride in their country. Americans don't have pride in their country anymore. And again, I'm not here to say to you whether that's right or wrong. That's your personal feeling. I'm just telling you what's here. China's going to definitely put more pressure on the supply chain. They're going to reel in their economy, and they're going to keep their resources for themselves. This is going to put further pressure on the West, and you're going to continue to keep seeing that time and time again. But I don't see a war happening where there's actual tanks and troops on the ground. It's going to be an economic war, and a bio war, and a lot of psyops. And we know that with Russia, where, remember, they hacked the election. They didn't hack the election. Effectively, what they were doing, they were spreading propaganda, and they were using black people's plight in this country to sow dissension towards your government. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to basically turn America inside out. Trust me when I tell you, when Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Ilhan Omar, AOC, and Rashida Tlaib, when they're done with America, you won't notice America anymore. You will the jab will be mandatory. Your son will wear a dress. Your daughter will wear a mustache. There will be no idea of gender. People will buy into a Marxist socialist ideology. The idea of ownership will be bad. Like as Claus said, you will own nothing and you will love it. We're already seeing the idea of minimalism be presented as a good thing for the environment. Like, you should not want to own your home. You shouldn't want to own your car. You should want to, eat fake meat. Like, all of these things are being influenced upon you. It's psyop, right? And you're going to see, while the rest of the world is elevating their standard of living, they're going to convince you that you shouldn't want a higher standard of living, that you should want to give up the standard of living, the freedoms that you have, so that the rest of the world can thrive. That's what you're going to see more of. And, we're seeing that. That's all part of the Great Reset agenda. And this is not conspiracy theory stuff. This is just factual. Right. So, right. The whole idea of, the giving pledge, right? Give up your guns, give up your land, give up your economic prosperity for the greater good of the rest of the world. Right. So, deindustrializing the West, all of that plays a part. Mm-hmm. LA Ramen says, been vetting your content for a while. You have just acquired a new student/client. Thank you. Appreciate it. And again, like I said before, man, I do my best to provide you guys with quality content, quality information, vetting the information the best that I possibly can do. That's what I try to do. In my academy, I don't talk about trading. I don't shill you exchanges and none of that type of stuff. You really see any affiliate products inside of the academy that I created. And this is why I created the academy, because I wanted to create a safe space in crypto. There just isn't enough safe spaces to really communicate and get sound quality information where a person's not trying to monetize you every chance they get. After trying to understand the difference between cryptocurrencies, BTC seemed more like an asset to me, though I know things are paid for with it. I mean, that's okay if you believe that. Richard was one of the first people that really got me to just understanding one of the biggest problems with Bitcoin, right? Especially Bitcoin maxis, and this is what happens to a lot of people who get exposed to Bitcoin first. Bitcoin is based upon an Austrian economics viewpoint, right? And it's really based upon gold, like trying to be hard money, and based upon commodities. And the problem with that thinking with Austrian economics and the libertarian mindset is that's a dated philosophy. You're trying to apply an economic philosophy and principles to a new world, right? Like where technology is so dominant. So the idea of like gold is money, yes, it may have withstood the test of time. It may have always been money. The problem is that that was a different world. We live in a completely different world today. So, I know you may like a lot of the things and theories that Bitcoin maximalists present to you, but when you start really studying the things that they're talking about, you start really realizing that a lot of it just doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't fit into the world that we live in today. When you look at Bitcoin in the way that it's constructed from a technological standpoint, it's designed to just be a store of value, nothing more, nothing less. Like, for example, I have gold right here. This is a 1 ounce American Buffalo. What can I really do with this gold but hold it? What else could I do with it? If I try, I can't spend it. I would have to convert it into some type of a fiat dollar in order to be able to use it. If I needed to flee and I had a whole bunch of these gold coins, it's extremely hard to move it and maneuver it around, right? So, gold is just simply a store of value, and Bitcoin is based upon, that's why it's digital gold. It's based upon, being digital gold. So I'm not saying it's a scam or it's bad, but that's limited in what it can do, right? Technologically, if you're looking at the scripting language that Bitcoin utilizes, you can't really build anything on top of it. You can only build things that allow you to be able to send Bitcoin maybe for cheaper, right? So whether it's like Lightning or the Strike app, that's great. Okay, you can send your Bitcoin back and forth. When we start looking at things like Ethereum, for example, or what post-chain is trying to be and do. Finance is so much broader than just storing value. What about borrowing? What about lending? What about insurance markets? What about debt markets, capital markets, right? Like there's so many different use cases and aspects to finance than just storing value. You cannot build those things on, you cannot write expressive smart contracts on the Bitcoin blockchain. You just can't do it. The way that is, structured. That's just it. The scripting language isn't Turing complete. So yes, Bitcoin may seem like more of an asset to you, and that's great. But just looking at the trajectory of where this industry is headed, Bitcoin will not be number one going into the end of 2022. Whether it's Ethereum, whether it's Avalanche, whether it's Solana or Algorand, hell, even Postchain, one of these blockchains are going to it will flip Bitcoin because it just has so much more utility. Think about the NFT space, right? Think about universal contracts for musicians and artists where they don't have to get robbed and they can control their distribution of their products and their intellectual property. Like smart contracts is so much more robust and dynamic and it has a better use case than just store of value. So, Bitcoin may seem like an asset, but it's based upon the old world, guys. We're going into a new world. Right. Definitely a completely new world. LA Ramen, 100% multi-sig is an issue. Clickback. Chris Black pursues. Yes, he does. He definitely discusses a lot of that. And again, he's another individual. He's a controversial figure. He has some good takes and some bad takes. Again, learn how to eat the meat, spit out the bones. Like with Polygon Matic, you know me, I made a tremendous amount of money in Matic Polygon. But it's true what he's saying about the admin keys and the admin key risk. That's a problem, right? That's the opposite of what crypto was designed to do and what it's designed for. But now some people feel like in order to bootstrap a project, we have to have the ability to be able to pause the blockchain and be able to, rectify things when they go wrong. Because we're watching that happen with Thorchain right now, where Thorchain has been exploited, I believe, 2 times now. So the idea is that when we finally get enough decentralization in the project and we get the project where we want it to be, we're going to actually burn these admin keys. I mean, it sounds good, right? So I'm not saying that you should not invest in those projects. I'm not saying that those projects are or are not scams. I'm just simply saying to you, you need to know these risks coming into it so you know what you own and why you own it. I think Thorchain is solid technology, but it is centralized right now. But the beautiful thing is that they are upfront with you. So therefore now that allows you to tailor how much capital you put into a project. So if I have 50K to invest, I'm not going to put all 50K into Thorchain knowing that they have admin keys and they have the ability to pause the chain and basically roll back the chain or do, refund people in certain ways or pause people's funds. Then if I know that, I may only put $5,000 into the project rather than putting $50,000 into the project. That's how you tailor risk, right? Like everything doesn't have to be as trustless as Bitcoin. That's a good question. Operation Leda. I don't know. All right, we like that. That's one thing that I can't predict the future. I don't know what Chainlink will do after SmartCon. What I do believe though is I believe that in SmartCon we're going to really see some really big announcements, not just for Chainlink but just for the entire smart contract ecosystem. And I think that that's going to be good just in terms of where we are and where we're going. You're already starting to see Chainlink start to take off. Let's see where the market's at right now. Anyway, I haven't checked on it. My end of the year projection for Chainlink is well over $100, and I still stand by that. Chainlink by far is my favorite cryptocurrency that I'm the biggest bull on. I believe that Chainlink is going to usher in the 4th industrial revolution. So we see the market basically is flat in the past 24 hours. Some cryptocurrencies are down like 4%. So End of the year, I see Chainlink over $100. I don't really get caught up in the day-to-day fluctuations. I just keep buying and averaging in at particular prices that I feel, is fair market and fair value. Wow, look, Quant is pumping again. Oh my God, Quant has been pumping. I don't know too much about that project. Oh, and here we go. Telcoin is basically flat. Oh no, it's down 4% actually. So yeah, market's pretty. 4% is nothing in crypto. 4% is nothing in crypto. Absolutely nothing at all. I'm looking for Chainlink, right? Yeah. So Link right now is at 2188. It's up 27% on the week. So I believe the high for Link was like right around $50, right? Yep. 49. The past year. Let's look at Link. Yeah, the high was 46. No, 52.20. No, I'm not a fan of any of these other oracles. API 3, band protocol. What's the other one? Teller. Chainlink has such a competitive advantage over all of these other oracles, and they're capturing the majority of the network effect. I just don't see how these other oracles are going to be able to catch up at this point, because Chainlink solved the oracle problem before anyone even knew that there was an oracle problem. So, Link to me is like essential to any type of blockchain that's going to be dealing with data and information and dealing with smart contracts. So I just don't see anyone being able to really compete with them in a major way. Now remember, this is crypto, so follow me here. It's not about whether or not the technology can actually do what they say it can do. It's really about, can you get people like Alex Saunders to promote it and use his influence. So you have to be mindful of that if you're looking for like your bag to pump. Just because the technology of Teller may not be up to the ability or technologically of a Chainlink doesn't mean it won't pump, right? Like, it'll probably pump because people are always looking for the next best thing. Market cap is really low. You get a bunch of people to promote it, it'll pump, right? So you just have to be mindful of the things that you're investing in and why you're investing in it. Are you just investing to make some quick gains, right? Because if you're just trying to make some quick gains, then you may want to look at a Teller, right? But if you're trying to invest sizable amounts of money and you plan on holding these projects for a long extended period of time, I tend to focus more on the technology, in my personal opinion, and just the overall market. But we're coming up on a minute and 30. An hour and 30 minutes. So I'm going to wrap it up here. I don't want to go too long. Like I did yesterday, I went 3 hours. So an hour and 30 minutes is good enough. With that being said, guys, please do me a favor. Like this video, share this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Make sure you set it to all. And definitely be sure to join my mailing list so that you can be notified whenever I go live. Have a good evening.